All right, welcome to Homework 407, Chapter 4.4, page 148, Writing and Graphing Day 2 for Inequalities. So open that up to your packet, and on this page it says the graph of an inequality shows all of the solutions of the inequality on a number line. An open circle is used when a number is not a solution. A closed circle is used when a number is a solution. An arrow to the left or right shows that the graph continues in that direction. So for example, let's say we had a number line, and let's say we had 0, 1, -1. So let's say we ended up with -1. If you have an open circle going to the right, that means all the numbers that are bigger than -1. It does not include -1. If the circle is shaded at -1, that means it does include -1 as your answer. So that means it would have the equal to symbol with it. So if the circle is shaded or closed, that means it includes that number in the solution. If it's an empty circle, it is not a solution. So here's an example from the book. Y is greater than -8. So the circle is empty at -8. And then the greater than, all the numbers greater than -8 are all the ones to the right. And so there's your graph right there. So empty circle at -8, and then greater than's everything to the right. All right, so we're going to graph this one. X is less than -1. So on my graph, I'm going to put -1 somewhere on there. So -1 circle, since it's less than, the circle is going to be empty because it's not equal to. And then less than, if the variable is first, it points the direction that the arrow needs to go. So the arrow needs to go that direction. So less than is everything to the left. Now, that shortcut only works if your variable is first. That's showing less than. All right, turn the page. So on this one right here, 4. So I'm going to put a 4 right there. Now, it does have the equal to symbol, so the circle is going to be closed. So it's shaded in, closed. And greater than, X is greater than or equal to 4. So since my variable did come first, it's which way this is pointing. You see how that, if you made it into an arrow, see the arrow's going this way. So those are all the numbers that are greater than 4 or equal to. All right, let's try the next one. So -9 is less than or equal to x. Now, for me personally, I like to rewrite it with the x first. I like my variable first, so I'm going to write x. Now, your inequality symbol, you have to flip. You see how it looks like it's eating the x? It still should be eating the x. And then the -9. So on my graph, if I have -9 right there in the middle, since it does say equal to, the circle is going to be closed. And now that I wrote it with my variable first, it does point the direction of the arrow. Otherwise, you gotta go, oh, it points the opposite direction if your variable second. So that's how your graph would be. X is greater than or equal to -9. So these are all the numbers greater than or equal to -9. All right. So the next one, we'll put 1.4 somewhere on there. So I'll just put it, I like putting mine in the middle. Big idea is you'll just get the number line and figure out where 1.4 is. All right, so my variable did come first, so that's good. 1.4, circle's going to be closed. And then less than goes to the left. I like to put my arrow above the number line, but on big ideas, you'll do it on the number line. Okay. And this one, try it. So I'm going to put 1/2 somewhere on the number line. That would be between 0 and 1. Okay. Does have the equal to symbol, so it is going to be closed circle. Now you got to be careful. The variable came second, so it's not going to go to the left. It's actually going to go the opposite direction, which is to the right. Now, if you would have rewritten it, x greater than or equal to 1/2, then it points the direction that the arrow goes. That only works if the variable comes first. All right. Next one. A rock climber's sleeping bag is recommended for temperatures no less than -15 degrees. Write and graph an inequality that represents the recommended temperature of the sleeping bag. So on this one, if we put the words temperature no less than -15, so variable, we're going to use T for temperatures. So the inequality be T no less than. It's not less than. If it's not less than, that's greater than or equal to, and then -15. So we end up with T greater than or equal to -15. So now on our number line, the circle would be closed at -15, and it would be going to the right because greater than is to the right. So the arrow would be going this way. Now you could always throw in where 0 would be on the number line and see if it works. And if it does, then the arrow goes past 0. If it doesn't, it goes the other way. All right, so let's look at this next one. The 3 requirements to pass a fitness test are shown. Write and graph 3 inequalities that represent the requirements, then give a set of possible values for a person who passes the test. So we're going to just write and graph, okay? So we're going to write it, and then we're going to graph the 3. So this one right here, jog at least 2 kilometers. So at least is greater than or equal to 2. So since it is equal to, the circle would be shaded at the 2, and the arrow would be going to the right. So the next one, perform 25 or more push-ups. So if you can do 25 or more, that's greater than or equal to 25. So we are going to, on this one, the circle is going to be closed again at 25, and it's going to be going to the right. And then perform at least 10 pull-ups. So at least means 10 or more. So it's going to be greater than or equal to 10. So 10 and greater than. So they could do 3 kilometers jogging, they could do 30 push-ups, and they could do 30 pull-ups. All of those could work. All right, let's turn to the last page. Got 2 more problems. To set a depth record, a submersible vehicle must reach a water depth less than negative 715 feet. A vehicle breaks the record by more than 10 feet. Write and graph an inequality that represents the possible depths reached by the vehicle. So they're going down. The record is right now at 715. So negative 715 feet. Now it says they can break the record by more than 10 feet. So go down another 10 feet. That's at negative 725. So to do an equation, we have our variable. It doesn't tell us what letter we have to use. So I'll do x. And then we have the negative 725. And let's look at it again. The vehicle breaks the record by more than 10 feet. So this one's tricky. So since it is a negative 725 feet, the record would be anything lower than here, right? So negative like 750. So on a number line to get the negative 750, it would have to be actually to the left. So that one's trickier because you're going down in degrees or feet. So it ended up being x is less than negative 725. So on the graph, negative 725, circle would be empty, and anything lower than 725 would break the record. All right, let's look at the last one. Each morning, a cafe sells at most 38 freshly squeezed orange juices. Write an inequality that represents this situation. Let x represent the number of freshly squeezed orange juices sold in the morning. So we're using x, and it was at most 38. So we'll put 38 here. So if the most that they can do 38, that is an equal to. So if the most is 38, can they do 30 or do they do 40? If the most is 38, so 30, so it'd be less than or equal to 38. So on that one, your inequality would be x is less than or equal to 38 freshly squeezed orange juices. All right, you want to go ahead then and work on your homework. Homework number 407. And if you have any questions, make sure you're getting a hold of me and asking.